Howdy, friends and floor heads. It is Monday night, and I have got to get ready to stream tomorrow. And I create my own overlays. That's what when you're looking and watching me stream a game, it's what you see on the screen right now, right? It's the frames, it's the names, and so on and so forth. And I needed to update this overlay for two reasons. One, we've got a new episode, so this is going to be episode 2. And I also need to make a second view of this because the game we're playing is called Limelight. It is an indie game by Session One Studios. They've been on the show. Go watch episode 1 that we did. It's phenomenal. We play high schoolers who form a band, and the 4 players are killing it. Derek is a phenomenal GM, and we're having a lot of fun. But I've had people ask me, how do I create these overlays? And I just realized, hold on one second. I use Illustrator by Adobe. Now, understand that you do not have to use Illustrator to do this. You can do this using any program, Photoshop, any of the free programs. I just have a familiarity with Illustrator. Sorry, it's applying the green screen filter, and I can't figure out how to turn it off, and it's really annoying me, and I apologize. Let me just try one more thing here real quick. Filter, edit filters. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, sorry. I use Illustrator, but you can use any program you want, including the free programs. A couple key things. One is to build things in layers. So you'll see here, I've got to make it look like a doodle, right? Like as someone in class would make. On the right-hand side, though, you can see I've got everything built into layers. So, for example, I could turn off everything, and I'll just have the episode. And this I could then export out and use in my overlays. So while we're right here, let's go ahead and update our episode. And this is going to be episode 2, and it's called The Battle. All right. So that's ready. Then the names. So here I've brought in the names of the characters as well as the players, a couple of stickers. Then we've got the doodles. We've got the characters, then the frames, and then below that is the back. When I export this, I export out just the back. I use that in the overlay. And then I add a new image, all in PNGs, all transparent, of everything else. And what that allows me to then do is then I can slide the video feeds behind these frames. So between the frames and all of the decoration, I have the video brought in by OBS, and then you've got the background. And that gives you the impression that they're all interjected and part of it. A couple other things. You'll notice on the left-hand side, I've got an empty frame. That shows where I'm going to put the chat. You'll also notice some blank space towards the bottom. Here, let me get this so I can show you my cursor. Give me just 1 second. Normally I have the cursor off so it doesn't distract you, but in this case I need to point at stuff. So yeah, here you go. So here's my frame. This is where the chat's going to be. And then down here is where I'm going to have, like the events and, pious pledges and all that other garbage that I put in there. Okay. This is now ready for my session 2 for tomorrow. Here's the challenge. The challenge is I have got to bring in a new element for tomorrow. So I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to call this battle map. And it is going to go, and I'm going to put the battle map in there. So when we play tomorrow, we are going to be playing using this battle map. And essentially this is a map that we'll put tokens on as we play, as we go through our challenge, right? And obviously, I want this visible, but I want our faces visible and so on and so forth. So I'm going to have to reconfigure things in order to fit all of that in. So we can just do that together. So let's start off with the frames. So I need to rearrange all my frames so that we can still see the 5 of us and still have the chat. I'm going to leave the chat the same size just to make my life easier. But let's go ahead and highlight all 5 of these frames and let's make them smaller. So hopefully I'll have room to get all 5 in there. So now let's see if I move these frames around. Hopefully I will have room for all 5 of us. So yeah, what I can do is I can have the players along the top here and I can put Derek at the bottom. I still have room here at the bottom for my, you know, the events and stuff like that. Let's bring in the episode title. Don't need to change the size of that, which is super convenient. Now let's bring in the names. So the names are all over the place. Let's grab Derek and we're going to put Derek down here. He is our booking agent. Actually, let's resize all of these together so they're going to be all sized the same. All right, let's just make these a little bit smaller. Hey, Cody, how are you? Doing some real boring stuff. We're doing Illustrator to show how I create these overlays. All right, so my booking agent's going to be down here. There's Derek's name. We're going to put Lizzie up here, and that is Miss Amy. I need to bring this and the frames down. So let's unlike the frames. All right. Okay. We're going to put Timothy. Whoops. Got to grab the tape I made. Timothy's going to be up here. Now, a lot of people also ask me, hey, you know, where do I get a lot of my graphics and things like that? I get my graphics and my music, all of them from Envato, which is a service that you can buy art and overlays. It's where I get my templates for my intros, all of that through there. They've got a pay per item, or they have a subscription. The subscription's pretty expensive, but as much as I use it, it's well worth it. All right, so there's Jake. That's me. So let's grab me. Oop. Okay. Whoops. Fabian. That is Greg is playing Fabian. Or no, that's that is not. That's Robert playing Fabian. Greg is playing Timothy. All right, so there's Greg, Craig, Robert. There we are. All right, we've got everybody's names all set. We've got our frames set. I'm going to go ahead and lock those in. Let's see. We have got our doodles I'm going to do last. So let's turn the doodles off. Let's get our characters set up here. So we have got Lizzie. Let's make her a little bit smaller. There's Lizzie. Here is Timothy. Here is my little Jake. And then we have Fabian, Robert's character. We can make him a little bit bigger. All right. Boom. Lizzie's set. Okay, we're good there. All right, so now I've got my doodles. So these are a bunch of extras that I put in there to kind of fill in space. We might have to get rid of some of these just because there's so many of them and we don't have as much real estate as we had before. Let's put our guitar down here. Drumsticks, I'm just going to get, whoops. Drumsticks I'm going to get rid of. How about my little heart here? We're going to get rid of the heart. And then I do like this sticker though. Let's put that up here. That can actually stay right down there at the corner. I've got this piano and the rock and roll sticker. Let's get rid of the piano. God, I keep hitting the page down. All right, and the rock and roll sticker, actually, it looks like that rock and roll sticker is on another, aha. Rock and roll sticker should be on the doodles layer. So let's move that to the doodles layer. Arrange, set to current layer, okay. Rock and roll, delete, okay. All right, so I think we're all set. So now I'm going to be keeping the playmat that we're using. That is going to be in the VTT, and I'm going to use a green screen to impose it on there. So when I export this, the actual battle map won't be on there because that'll be brought in by the VTT. But now I've got, oh, I got this little session 1 guy up there. What is that part of? Where is session 1? Is that on Doodles? It is. Where are we going to put our session 1? Let's put it down there. Okay. Then I'm going to get rid of the background. I'll export out this, and that'll be my top layer. I'll bring the cameras in under it. So I'll place each of the cameras in the OBS, and then I'll put the final bottom layer will be that notebook paper. But that's the basic idea. So quick recap. Everything I do in layers. That allows me to quickly import and export things without too much difficulty. I typically have my top layer. I will bring my cameras in under that layer in OBS, and then I have my background, which in this case is that notebook paper. So there. How about that? This may be my shortest stream in a long time, but that's it. That's how I do things. Is I go in, oh, we've got the wrong episode up there. We got to update that episode. Hold on, because we updated the one for the old one. We need to update this for the new one. That's how I make overlays. One of these days, what I'll do is I will stream me making one from scratch, because I think that could be helpful as well. Let me give you a sneak preview of one. Let me save this real quick. I have been working on an overlay for the upcoming show of that we're doing for Shiver, and I'm super excited about it. So let me just open, oh, where's my Shiver cover? Streaming schedule, Brindlewood Bay podcast, Forbidden Stream. Let's see, open RPG Shiver. So here you'll get to see, this is the overlay that I'm using for Shiver. So there's the background. And then we add my frames, right, as their own layer. Then I've got these panels set up to show the places for the chat and for the roles to show up. And then we've got the cover and the labels, the lettering. Then there's going to be a doom clock because it's Shiver. And then there's the episode, Delinquent Dread episode 1. But you can see it's the same idea, right? It's all layered in. I can now turn off the back. And in this case, the doom clock is actually not going to be part of the overlay. That's going to be part of the VTT. So that would go away. I can now export this out as a PNG. So I've got the transparencies. I would use that as the top layer. Then I'd bring the cameras in the second layer. And then I would do a final export of just this background. And then that would be the bottom layer that you would see it. So that's what we're going to be using for the upcoming Shiver game, which I cannot wait to do. That's it, guys. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Works for your new Old Gods too, Tiny House Terror. That's true. So I did get the Old Gods of Appalachia in the mail, Sidewinder, as you saw in the Discord. And started reading it. I started reading Old Gods the same way I do every new RPG. First thing I do is I go and read the very beginnings for the basic concept. Next, I go to character creation because I find that it's very informative as far as understanding the system and the setting. And then I go to the back of the book and I read the first adventure. So usually most rule books will have a sample adventure in the back. I like to read that next before I read the rules, because it gives me a context for everything of how the game is supposed to operate. And so far, I have not read the mechanics of it. It's a Cypher system. I've read Cypher before. I've never played it. I need to bone up on it, but I won't be shocked if we see Old Gods make it to the channel. Beautiful production value and a wonderful podcast. All right. Cheers all. Take care. Howdy friends, thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.